Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Gojo kicking off the dive into JJK. Poor bro is stuck in a cube for all eternity, so let's show him some love right now. This will be a two-parter because favoritism, of course. And this one is titled Office Day Part 1. Enjoy. You stepped into the staff room at the Tokyo Jujutsu High, looked up, and then froze. Well, hey, don't just stand there. Why don't you come over here? The voice of Gojo Satoru called, with all the sass and cheekiness you would expect from a guy such as him, blindfold on and not even looking in your direction. Your face soured. Ugh, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be out teaching a class or sorcerizing or something? You shot back with as much sass and cheek as he'd given you. Why go out to exercise something when I can stay here and do something with you? He asked with a smirk, still not looking up in your direction. Ugh, nothing like that is ever going to happen. You replied with an indignant but flustered look on your face, that he couldn't see but could definitely read in your voice. Isn't it? He asked with a smirk as he stood up and walked over to you standing in the doorway. You refused to step back and held your ground, but you did lean back just a little since he had stepped right up into your personal space. Why won't you date me? He asked, his face getting dangerously close to yours. No, you said with a forced scowl. Why would I? Because I'm Gojo Satoru, he replied with a sly grin, tilting his head to the side a little. You continued to hold your scowl. Like I would ever want to be with someone as arrogant as you said. You know I'm different from your other boyfriends. He says he leaned one arm on the door frame to your left. What would you know about my other boyfriends? You asked with an accusatory surprise sound in your voice. He said with another smirk. I know everything. I'm Gojo Satoru, remember? Ugh, you groaned quickly. Get off me, you added, placing your hands against his chest and pushing him so that he would step back and you could go around him and go over to your desk. You had things to do that day, and he was just getting in the way. The truth was you really did like this arrogant lump of a human, but you also knew that if you wanted things to last with him, you couldn't give in too easily. And you also wanted to test his tenacity. If you kept pushing him away, would he eventually give up on you, or would he keep pursuing? You were testing that. You stepped around him and headed into the staff room and over to your desk, and he followed you immediately. You know, I saw you checking me out this morning, he said as he stepped up beside your desk and leaned back on it as you sat down. I wasn't checking you out. I was giving you that stank eye because you kept making farting noises during my roll call, you snapped. No, you were checking me out. I know you were, he replied with a grin. But I liked it, you know, having your eyes on me. You gave him the stankiest side eye you could muster and pursed your lips together. The longer you remained silent, the more he grinned and then chuckled and then raised one thumb to his blindfold to lift it up to look at you with that right eye. Pack it away, sir. Your eyes aren't going to be doing anything for you here, you replied, knowing full well that you loved it when he let his eyes show. They were so mesmerizing you could stare into them for hours, but you heavily refrained from doing so. You went back to looking straight ahead, but Gojo just still remained with the blindfold pulled up for a good few seconds, and you couldn't help but glance at him to see what he was doing and noticed he was staring down at your chest. My eyes are up here, Satoru, you snapped with mild embarrassment. Yeah, thanks. I'll remember that the next time I want to look at your eyes, he replied, his eyes meeting yours before he winked. Can you get out? You snapped, face feeling flushed as you jumped up and shoved him in the chest. He was laughing by now and let go of his blindfold so that it fell back down over his eyes, and you were having a hard time keeping it together in the face of all this flirting. He was making your life so difficult right now. You're so irritating, you grumbled in a vexed tone, standing there staring him down. Just go away. Yeah, you don't want me to. You're just saying that because I've got your heart racing now, and you need a minute to calm down, and you can't do that with me standing here, he said accurately. Curse you, you hissed. Oh, you're going to exercise me now? He leered. What do I have to do to get you to go away? You said with exasperation. Date me, he said with a grin. I refuse, you replied, crossing your arms across your chest. Oh, come now. Don't do that, he said gently as he reached a hand out and gently tugged on your arms to get them to uncross. Come on, just one date. You'll be hooked, I promise. That's what I'm afraid of, you thought. Oh, so you're thinking about it? He asked suddenly. What are you, a mind reader? You asked with surprise. Oh, so I'm correct, he asked with a grin. Come on, I'll buy you coffee. Just one date. You let out a big sigh. He had been chasing you for months now, and it really did look like he wasn't going to give up, like you hoped that he wouldn't. I'm way better than them, he said again, referring to your previous boyfriends. I know, Gojo Satoru, I get it, you sighed. Ugh, you're just so arrogant. Thank you, he replied with a smirk. And childish, you added. Oh, a compliment, he replied. And overconfident to the level of it being a fault, he also added. Stop it, you're just flattering me now, he joked as he took your arm and pulled you gently over to him so that you were now standing between his legs. See now, this is good right here, isn't it? He asked with a smirk as he tucked one index finger over the top of his blindfold and tugged it down so that it fell down around his neck to look over the top at you, his bright, almost translucent blue eyes staring into yours. You hummed, lost for words as you remained transfixed by his eyes. Good, he replied as he placed his hands gently on your hips. Don't move, just stay here, forever. Huh, you hummed, in a somewhat agreement, then suddenly blinked a few times and then stepped back quickly. Oh, no you don't, you said once you'd broken his spell. Nope, nuh-uh. You spun quickly to the right and made to walk out of the staff room door to make an escape so that you could calm down a bit, but he beat you to the door and blocked the way. Get out of the way, you snapped. Not until you agree to date me, he replied. Move, you growled. This Friday, after school, 4 p.m. Got it, he replied. Okay, fine, you finally snapped with exasperation. Yes, he asked with excitement. Yes, okay, one date, now get out of the way, you replied with hot cheeks, keeping your eyes averted. He stepped out of your way and bowed low as you passed him. Don't scream for joy in the girls' bathroom, because I'll be able to hear you, he replied cheekily after you. You marched down the hall, hiding a stupid big grin on your face, shaking your head as you muttered to yourself. Ugh, stupid man. I'm going to make sure it's the worst day ever so that he'll leave me alone after that, you muttered. If he really is serious, he'll take it all on and won't be deterred. This is the final test, you thought, as you marched into the girls' bathroom, slammed the door behind you, and then silent screamed for joy. You can probably tell that I am fighting for my life. Please. Oh, man, I have been so crook. That's an Aussie term, isn't it? I've been so sick over the last few weeks. But daijoubu. It's okay. I'm going to be fine. Sorry if Gojo sounds a little bit... Well, the funny thing is, it's always the higher registers that I struggle with when I'm sick. But then I can, drop into the male voice, which I've done a few times. And it's so much more comfortable sitting down this register. So if all of my male voices suddenly sound like their testicles have dropped to their ankles, yeah, that's because, I'm a bit on the sick side. But this will continue on. Part 2 will be up next week. I should probably record it, actually, with this voice so it's consistent. But yes, the show will go on. I'm not going to take a hiatus or anything. Just pray for my voice, y'all. You've fixed it once before. Please do it again. I will see you next week for part 2 of Office Day. If you are staying on for the Sero book, then I'll see you then. I pre-recorded that, so I won't sound sick in that one. Thank goodness. Hopefully my voice will be better by next week because I need to start recording next week's ones for the books. I'm rambling now. I'll see you all then. Take it easy. Please don't get sick, and see you tomorrow or see you next week.